For more on the mission and the challenges ahead, let's bring in Curt Harler. He's Executive Vice President of the National Speleological Society, which studies and explores caves. He joins me from Cleveland. Curt, I think the question everyone is asking at this point is when? When will these boys and their coach get out? We've heard anywhere from days to weeks. What is your best assessment here?
It could be any of those options. The overriding concern is to get them out safely without endangering any of the rescuers, or we've had such good news with the boys and their coach, not endangering or losing any of them to a rush to judgment and making a mishap.
Talk about the dangerous and challenging conditions inside this flooded cave. We're talking about poor visibility, powerful currents, extreme narrow passageways, just to name a few, and then it's incredibly deep. We're talking about some 800 meters to 1 kilometer below the surface.
They are in quite a faraway place as far as there is no helicopter rescue, there is no easy way out. You go out the way you came in. That's true in most cave rescues, and that's why the dive them out option is probably one of the lower priority options that is being considered. It certainly is a live option. It certainly is a potential to get the boys back above ground, but there are other options that I'm sure are being considered by the people on the spot, and that would include simply waiting for the water to go down, although this is monsoon time, and that's perhaps less likely to happen than it might be at other times of the year. There's a possibility, although it's vague, that there might be another way into the boys discovered. And of course, there's the option of drilling down to them, as we did with the Chilean miners several years ago in that happy rescue.
Well, is that a serious option, do you believe, that's being considered, the drilling part?
I think so. It would be the longest term option for keeping the boys in there, and part of it's keeping their spirits up, keeping them happy and healthy. I think most 14-year-old boys would enjoy being on a camping trip of some sort with Army Rangers and elite troops, although perhaps not under these conditions. But the important thing is to keep their spirits up and keep them focused on positive things, since they are all in fairly good shape, especially given their 2-week ordeal already.
Does that surprise you? Because when we saw the videos, I was stunned. I mean, they looked thinner, obviously, but how good of a shape they were really in. And how did these boys survive 9 days without food? I'm assuming the water in the cave, that's what they were drinking. Of course, I'm putting you on the spot here by complete speculation.
This is speculation, but the water in the cave is a lot better than not having water. People can go for anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks without food. And of course, now they are getting food. They'll be fed very gradual portions to begin with, and then they will eventually get back onto some sort of a more normal ration. There is both a doctor and a nurse, I understand, there with them, so they will be brought along well. The real danger, as I see it right now, is impatience, making a rush to judgment, and perhaps not using the best possible option to get these soccer players out of the cave.
And of course, one other factor complicating this whole thing, some of these boys don't know how to swim.
Exactly. These are the people that have gotten into them. The SEALs are trained divers. They do this every day. They've got a lot of training, and for them it was a difficult dive. The experts that are there on the scene with the diving experience say that it's a very difficult process. So you don't want to take a bunch of 12, 13, 14-year-olds with no scuba experience at all and try to run them back through the same type of situation that these trained scuba divers got them into. So keeping them in place for a little while is probably a good option, even though it requires a lot of patience.
And of course, weather is a big factor. The rain needs to stop. Curt Harler, thank you so much.